Welcome back to the Girls Inc. of Santa Fe and SIM podcast series on staying safe with social media. I'm Karen Shiozaki, past board chair for Girls Inc. of Santa Fe and current board chair for SIM National.
Hi, I'm Madonna Hernandez. I am the Director of Programs of Girls Inc. of Santa Fe. So, parents are sometimes the biggest culprits of violating the privacy of their own kids because they are all too eager to post pictures and stories about them. In this podcast, we'll look at how some posts can have an unintended negative impact on your kids as they get older. A study conducted by the internet security firm AVG found that more than 90% of children in the United States have a digital presence before their second birthday. This includes postings on Facebook of sonograms, announcing the births and other major events, such as the first time they walk, smashing the cake at first, birthday parties. Then, there are posts that are made on parenting blogs that are centered on subjects like behavioral issues or medical support groups. Many posts are harmless, but sometimes parents share too many personal details about their kids that can lead to identity theft, or worse, if it's used by people who intend to harm. What should also be of concern is how this oversharing can violate your own child's personal privacy as they get older. Remember, we are living in a time when anyone can learn about anything with a few clicks on the internet. I know that I always look to see what sort of online presence people have if I'm considering hiring them for a job. Online bullies do research on their victims too. It can't be stressed enough that stuff on the internet never really goes away, even if you delete it. So doesn't everyone have the right to decide what gets onto the internet about themselves? Your kids can become resentful of what you've posted about their earlier lives when they had no control over it.
That's so true, Madonna. Let's talk about some examples where parental posts can lead to unintended bad consequences. So, a mother posted photos of her twin daughters, which were accessed by strangers, downloaded, altered, and then shared on a website commonly used by pedophiles. Then there's something called digital kidnapping. Take the case of the mom who posts a really cute picture of her daughter on Facebook. One day she receives a like from a username that she doesn't recognize. The stranger had made her daughter's image her homepage photo and was presenting the child as her own child. Another mom discovered that the toilet training photos of her son were shared by another Facebook page that seemed to specialize in pictures of little boys. And if that wasn't bad enough, followers could follow the link back to her own Facebook page to track down more information about her son, including where he lived. Now, further to that last example, when your kids get older, how many of you think they would be pleased that you posted toilet training pictures of them online? The personally identifiable information that you share about yourself can pose a risk to your kids. For example, by tracing a parent's social media information to voter registration data or other publicly available records, a child's identity can be inferred, and that would include name, location, age, and birthday. Now, I know some of you are thinking that you're okay because the platforms that you use let you select your audience. And as a result, you don't have to use that much discretion in what you share, because after all, you know those people pretty well. But in reality, those posts can be spread farther than you thought because your audience still has the ability to save and repost the data in other forums.
Mommy blogging is popular. The more the mommy blogger shares about her kids, the more potential for hits and likes. The more hits and likes, the greater the paid back for the blogger. It can be very profitable, with some bloggers making 5 figures a month. Take the case of Erica, a mother whose 5th grade son has symptoms of ADHD and has been suspended from class multiple times. She is frustrated and starts blogging details about his misbehaviors. And as a result, she's formed a small support community of mothers dealing with the same issues. She posts photos of her son along with the blog details of his bad behaviors. Erica happens to mention her blog to the father of her son's friend. He himself isn't a blogger, but he's got over 700 followers on Facebook. He starts making mention of Erica's struggles and reposts them from her blog. Now you have close to 1,000 people that know this boy has ADHD and is a behavioral problem. Fast forward some years when Erica's son is now applying for a job or to get into a school. The childhood history of his ADHD, his bouts of depression, the medications, his disruptive behavior, they've now followed him into early adulthood and will most likely raise a red flag for people who are trying to make decisions about engaging with him. I want to mention data brokers. These are companies that purchase different types of data from social media and online retail sites. The data brokers build profiles about people and sell those to advertisers, employment agencies, and college admissions offices. Now, many sites will say the data they sell keeps identities anonymous. This may be true, but there are other sources that sell data that keep identities intact. The technology exists today that can scoop up data from multiple sources, merge it, and analyze it to re-identify individuals and their personal characteristics. That would include your children.
Now, with all this in mind, here are some guidelines to help you determine what you should and should not post about your kids. So the first one is assume that all posts are public. I mean, just because you've tightened up your security settings doesn't mean a post is locked down. You never know who might see it now or in the future. And speaking of the future, think beyond today. The information you post today is probably going to be around and accessible 10 to 20 years from now. Think about who might see it and how your child might feel about it. Definitely do not share online what you wouldn't say in public to strangers. Fourth is let others know your boundaries. Once you have decided what can be shared online about your kids, communicate this to others who might do postings, and that would include grandparents and babysitters. Set up search engine notification alerts. Now remember that when you share information online, you are not able to limit where that information goes or how long it will linger on the internet. What you can do is to set up alerts to track when your child's name or images appear in search engine results. Then you can evaluate the websites and determine if you're comfortable with the content that's appearing. And most importantly, respect your child's wishes. Once a child is old enough to understand social media, I mean certainly by age 9 or 10, he or she should have a say in what gets posted. And we encourage you to give them veto power over any posts.
At Girls Inc., we teach the girls to give and respect boundaries with their peers. We give them the confidence to exercise. No means no. Think about how it will come across when their own parent blatantly disregards an easy limit they put in place. We don't propose letting your kids make their own rules for everything, but letting them know that their voice matters is so important. If we want to raise independent, confident girls, we need to let them decide on their own whether they want a social media presence at all, because not everyone does. Well, that's it for this podcast. We welcome your questions and comments. Please go to our website at girlsincofsantafe.org, scroll to the bottom, click Contact Us, and leave your messages. I'm Madonna Hernandez, Director of Programs.
And I'm Karen Shiozaki, Board Chair of SIM. Thanks again for listening to our podcast series, Staying Safe with Social Media.